Recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary Jewell, for joining us today. I appreciate you following up with your answer regarding hydraulic fracturing to separate the injection of underground fluids versus the operation of hydraulic fracturing itself, which has not had proved given any evidence of any groundwater pollution. So I appreciate you doing that. In the omnibus that we passed for this year, the omnibus appropriations, each of CEQ, the EPA, and the Department of Interior has been directed to submit a report identifying all expenditures in fiscal years 2012 and 2013 for the development, administration, and implementation of the National Ocean Policy as set forth in Executive Order 13547, and to clearly identify the funding proposed for the implementation of the National Ocean Policy in future budget submissions. This report was due 60 days after the enactment of the FY2014 omnibus, which occurred on January 17, 2014. According to my calendar, the report was due to be submitted on March the 18th. Can you give me the status of that report?
I do know we support the goals of the National Ocean Policy. I'm not familiar with the status of the timing of the report. You guys, where? Okay, we're providing input, but I don't have the date.
Okay, I'd ask you to follow up within 7 days of this hearing on that. The second part of that is if it hasn't been submitted, and it sounds like it probably has not, then I'd like within 7 days from this hearing to know when it will be submitted to Congress in accordance with the appropriations bill that was enacted on January the 17th. The next question has to do with NPS. Okay, next question has to do with NPS. Do you have any unencumbered funds from prior year's appropriations for land acquisition?
Yes, we do, and we don't know the number, but I'm happy to get that back.
Okay, would you submit that within 7 days too? How large? A minute ago, I think you said 1.1 billion is your number for appropriations on deferred maintenance, but that's probably 1.1 million, isn't it? Is it million or billion?
Okay, that's department-wide, Park Service refuges, BLM lands, and so on, not specific to the National Park Service. And that is
okay,
$1.1 billion department-wide across our budget.
What was the number again, billion or million?
Billion.
Okay, just, okay. And then what is the total deferred maintenance for land, for all Department of Interior lands?
I know that the Park Service is $11 billion. Fish and Wildlife Service, I think, is 4.7. Do you have a number for BLM? Okay, she's getting the number for BLM. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, you get that to me in a minute. In your budget, you proposed $25 million for land acquisition and $954 million for the management lands and resources account. Is there any way that you can use any of the $954 million for land acquisition, or are you keeping that totally separate and it's only for maintenance?
My team. Only for maintenance.
Okay, good. So there will be no reprogramming from those accounts for land acquisition?
No.
Okay, great. We'll see. The next question is, going back to, these are follow-ups to questions, answers you gave to Congressman Lamborn and Congressman Fleming related to hydraulic fracturing, the BLM rule on hydraulic fracturing. In response to Lamborn's question, you said you consulted with the states, and in response to Congressman Fleming's question, you said you worked alongside, when I say you, the Department of Interior was working alongside the states. I have checked with the state of Texas, with the Railroad Commission, commissioners and staff, and they said they've had no direct conversations with the Department of Interior regarding the BLM rule. So if you're working alongside the states, and Texas is the largest energy producer in the country, can you tell me what states you worked with? I mean, why Texas was left out, since we have a regulation program that shows efficacy?
Well, I can tell you this, that we're concentrating our efforts predominantly where there are federal and tribal lands with oil and gas development. So states like Wyoming, Colorado, North Dakota, where a lot of the action is going on, but I can't specifically say why they haven't consulted with Texas, and I will follow up with them.
Okay, that would
let me
be
give you
good.
the maintenance backlog number, if I may.
Sort of two parts of the question. Yes, where are the lands? I agree with that. But second, where are the best practices? And so, as a leading energy producing state, I would think that that we would be consulted with.
I take that as an offer to consult, and we're happy to follow up.
Okay.
Total deferred maintenance, 13 to 19 billion, BLM 700 million, just to
Okay.
answer that earlier
Thank you very
question.
much. My time's expired. Appreciate your help.
I
And
thank
we'll
the-
look forward to the answers within 7 days.
I thank the gentleman.